Hey, welcome back. Thanks for watching Broker Talk, a weekly real estate show about the behind the scenes in the real estate industry. Each week, we bring you some really kick ass guest who can help you understand a niche in the real estate industry. Today, we're going to talk about wholesaling. Wholesaling is a really specific branch of real estate, much like probate, working with probate. You have to talk to a lot of people to get to the right people. Wholesaling is using paperwork to get a seller to agree to you that you can sell the property at some point within a specific period of time. So you can then go sell it to somebody else for more money and make the difference, or you can work with an investor and rehab it and flip it and make the difference. Lucas Kurtz, I've known him since he came into the real estate industry, and I don't wholesale. Lucas does. So, hey, Lucas, how do you wholesale properties? And so that's a real estate term, paper. The paper is the contract. Let's talk about the kind of contract and what's specifically on there. Like if you're selling your house and you're doing it the traditional way, you're hiring an agent to go and do that for you. You sign an exclusive contract that gives you a period of time in which you can sell this property or not. And that's the contract. What kind of a contract do you use in wholesale? And or assignee is the key phrase. And here's where it differs than regular real estate. That seller is not going to be looking to you for the bank or anything like that. They don't do that. You're given a specific period of time to do something with this property. And what happens if you don't get it done? What happens if you can't find the flip or days? Is it 10? Yeah. So what you do is you sign an actual offer contract, a promulgated type form that an offer. And if you don't move forward, you don't go to the P&S. Okay, because in Massachusetts, we're a two-step process. You can go all the way through with just an offer, but it's an offer and a purchase and sale. And here in Massachusetts, we don't have title companies. The closing attorney or the bank really do the title work on it. Just slightly different. But wholesaling is wholesaling. Wholesaling is getting a property under agreement with a seller and usually at a reduced price from the after repair value. Right, right. But they're not the only ones. I know for a fact that don't. There's also a whole other group of people. Well, we talked about probate for a moment, and that's like your mom and your dad die, and your brothers and sisters aren't in the state. They don't want the house. They don't want to come back and deal with it. They're willing to accept a little bit less to get a cash deal or to get a deal done quickly or assign it to somebody who can do that for them. Right. 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 You're making it easy for them. Right. Yeah. Right. There are people out there that cash. I know this is hard to believe, but it's true. There are people out there that price isn't the specific object. I had a property. Friends of mine, their mother died. She absolutely did not want anybody from the neighborhood in her house, so we couldn't go on the market with it. So we brought in a series of investors who talked to them about it, and they just took the best deal. It was less than they could have gotten if I could have shown it because it was in Brookline. It was a great property, but that's not what the family wanted. That's not what the departed wanted. So they didn't do that. Right, right, and in many cases you can help them protect their if they're late and in foreclosure, you can't do anything about that other than make sure that the bank gets their money and that closes it off and it shuts down the amount of time that they were in foreclosure. Right. Hey, you didn't notice I have my holiday lights up. Okay. Yeah. Knowing that you've been in this office, you stood right where I'm standing, right here. Um, so it's not easy approaching these people. How do you approach them? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you never know. They could be you could catch people at very bad times. Uh, you know. All right. Right. Well, I think in every single branch of real estate, it's about liking and trusting. And they don't necessarily have to like you like you're my next best friend. I don't think that like some agents think because, geez, I don't get a chance to see my friends enough. The ones I already have. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make new ones, but they have to trust you. They have to trust that what you're telling them is what is actually going to happen. Um, and honestly answer their questions. Um, right. Yeah. You say we. Is this multiple personalities or is this the cool? Good. Yeah, it is in this specific realm a numbers game. So you've been at this for a while, so you probably have done some deals, more than one deal with some people. How does that go? You know, if you get somebody who's either an investor with you or a contractor, and they come in with some money, um, how do you establish those kinds of relationships? Right, 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 right. I was in a meeting this morning with a development company, and their formula is no more than 3 months and no more than $60 to $80,000 of repairs. They want the simple stuff, the floors, the walls. You know, they're not talking about. They may upgrade a toilet, but they don't want to redo the kitchens and the bathrooms. Um, Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's really the thing. In real estate, to be successful, they always talk about find something that you like that you're good at. Don't be the jack of all trades. You're working with everybody. I've been guilty of that. I've always said I only want to work with people I like and trust. And sometimes I'm working on properties or over a longer period of time than is really good for me. I get involved in doing extra stuff that wouldn't a normal real estate agent wouldn't do. But there's a lot of people. Everybody says service is important, and it really is. How do you define service? Is that answering every single phone call and getting back to them immediately, especially if you have a needy client? Yeah, right, 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 right. Yeah, right, right. Discharge a mortgage or cloud on the title is what that's called. That can be something, especially if the bank that didn't clear that title also went out of business and isn't around anymore, or was bought and there's no paperwork. That just takes longer. Yeah, right, right. And every single property and every single family is different. We're doing the same thing. It's square footage. It's bricks and boards and rooms and bathrooms, but it's all different when you get the people involved in their finances. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, let me say more. I mean, if it's a distressed property, take some things for instance: broken windows, peeling paint, um, not any handrails on some of the steps. These are things that keep it from being an FHA saleable property. And if that's the case, conventional isn't going to do it either because these banks and these lenders want to get your loan and they want to sell it to somebody else who's going to service your loan. But so you limit the number of people buy. It has to be a cash buy, or it has to be a buy with somebody with 50% down, something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So hard money is a lender who is not a bank, is not a loan officer. Hard money is somebody with cash, um, who's going to give you money at different terms, and ask fewer questions. But if they try again, you have to be trustworthy, and they have ways to get their money back, uh, and they do. But that's not your objective. If you need to borrow money at a higher interest rate because of the deal, then you just do that knowing that you're a professional and you can get that property rented and you can get it sold and you can make the profit in between. Everybody gets paid. Um, so we're towards the end of the year, and you're getting started again with in real estate. We all kind of move around, and it used to be people moved around because they were going to make money. But in the last little bit, it's like who has a better story to tell, and it is partly more money, but it's also being around the right people in this industry. If you're not around the right people who are free and open with their information, you're probably in the wrong place. And you'd be better off being around people that aren't worried about the market going up or down. It's still the same job. It's still the same job in an up or down market. Price points are different. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right. Exactly, exactly. And see, yours is back end. Mine with a regular purchase. It's all front end, and you feel the market changing. You feel it from week to week in the open houses, or how many calls you're getting, or. But here's an interesting fact: in up markets and in down markets, the number of properties that are exchanged from one person to another, the number of transactions stays relatively the same, whether it's a bull market or a different market. It's the same number of properties because people get born, people die, people get jobs, people lose jobs, people move. The moving around within the United States, that's an ongoing thing that is affected by the economy, but it doesn't stop that process. So when you're in an agency and you say, "Oh, the interest rate's going up, and nobody's going to buy," that's not true. It's just not true. They're not going to buy at the price you might want them to, or they can't buy any longer because instead of buying it at 3.5%, now they're at 4.75, and their mortgage is twice as much. So um, communicating to the buyers and sellers correct information. There's more than one way to get your property sold. Wholesaling is just one of them. Flipping is by. So have you done any of your own personal properties yet, Lucas? Right. You bring up a good point, Lucas. If you want to get into wholesaling, you don't necessarily have to have your license. it helps you if you're going to resell, like you just said. Here in Massachusetts, you can resell it and you can make a commission on that property. But you can do it anywhere, absolutely anywhere. It's the same process. You don't have to have a license. It just helps because you understand the process a little bit deeper. And so, Lucas, if somebody's out there and they want to wholesale the property, they want to work with you, how would they get in touch with you? Excellent. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Time goes by way too quickly, right? You did a great job. Thank you, Lucas Kurtz. And thanks for listening to Broker Talk. Tune in next week when we have media specialist. So, a guy who is doing great stuff all over the world. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being part of Broker Talk.